Okay. All right, and let me admit everybody. Okay, everybody's here. All right. All right, we're gonna call the meeting to order. So we're a little bit late today, 6:10. We're starting here the meeting. We have Joao, we have Alfredo here, and Robert is on Zoom, and myself. So we have a quorum. Approval of meetings of from 5/15/2024.
Motion for approval.
Nice. My second. Okay, approved.
Approved.
Very good. Now roof project updates.
Now it's the voting, the point number 4, voting on the execution of the bank loan. Probably you like to.
Am I having the wrong?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, voting on the what? You can read it, you can read it, that's fine.
So. I'm gonna turn.
Okay. So good afternoon to all. Just waiting for Alan to reduce the sound.
Okay, so we have already a letter of intention from Valley Bank.
This
letter needs to be
approved
here. So like what we presented last time, it's a $1.2 million,
24 months on a non-revolving line of credit. The term loan is 180 months. The total loan period obviously is the addition of 2 of these things. It's a 7.5 fixed, 0.35 of the loan amount. And right now, just to guarantee that we don't lose these conditions, we need to sign this letter. And I would propose, because Robert is not here, that the vice president signs it. And also there is a deposit of goodwill of $3,000 that we need to do in Valley Bank. So we need to do that deposit of $3,000. It's not a cost, is a goodwill deposit. And we also need to sign this letter. So I would do a motion to take the decision on signing the letter and do the goodwill deposit, and that the vice president that is here present would do the signature. That would be my motion.
I don't mind signing.
Okay.
As far as it's approved back. I don't know.
Yes, because they say approve, accepted by, and we could send it. The problem is that we need to send it today, and so, and Robert is not here.
Better. All right. I second the motion.
Okay,
Yeah. So.
Robert, any objection?
No objection, approved. Alan, you're good to sign.
You want me to bring the bottom up in mind?
No. Okay, perfect. Keep your, so I'm giving the letter to Alan to sign. So this is the second page.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, that's it.
perfect. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so today we went into 3 units. Unit 19, unit Conejos unit, and yeah, and 27, and the corner unit 27, the corner DDA 29. Sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, the good news is that. Okay, so the good news is the enclosure, the DA's enclosure, looks to be good because he recently did windows, so he has impact windows there, and they approved it. And also, he found some plans which we already scanned today, And the architect, and also there was a recertification of the roof done like 20 years ago. And that enclosure was there. That enclosure is there 40 years. So that recertification passed with that enclosure. So the architect said, listen, I don't think we're going to have an issue with this one because.
And by the way, the other enclosure in building 3, should it also be there 20 years ago? Because probably you can.
I don't know, but in the other 2, the windows are not impact.
Okay.
So in order to legalize, probably, and there's no sorry, so probably they will have to, at least at the minimum change the windows.
No, Alan, he's referring to stairs.
No, building 3.
Building 3. Angela and Conejo.
Okay, Angela doesn't have impact.
Okay, so either one of them doesn't have impact. So the good thing is that we might, DDS unit might be kind of an easy thing. I mean, we hope. So that's with that. We went into Esther's unit. I took photo on the floor, on the enclosure, termites, a lot of termites. This is something we need to address immediately. We have an infestation of termites in the whole condominium. I found today in my house, inside my home, termites. We are having a big issue with termites. We need this ASAP. This can be like.
Remember that I actually give you like 2 estimates, and I actually I called today Kabbalah Center because they actually have a pest control who actually dedicate for insects and termites. So I'm gonna contact them and ask for the number. But the TNT, the company that I give you the estimate back in January that do the weed on the grass and the insect needed to be put in place, and I have an estimate. It's already like $1,500 3 times per year. It's like
but we need like a very serious like termite mitigation right now.
Chemical, yes, they are licensed. They have a chemical for
They are for prevention, because I think from this needs like to be an intervention.
Yeah, this is not prevention.
Definitely, they will come and they will assess and they will tell us exactly what they're going
I would say to call it tomorrow.
Yeah, we need, and also they need to walk all the condominium and try to find the locations. They have termites, and we need to decide what we do about it and act. Because
I would say for them to recommend.
Yeah.
Because from the number I saw in Esther's house in your photograph, it might be a radical decision, which is isolating the houses and
well, I hope we don't get to it, because it's covering the whole building and asking everybody to move.
I think that they will provide the solution. I think it's.
All right, so let's call for a few professionals, and we need to get on top of it like right now. So that's starting to move. They're supposed to send me a quote after the engineer sees all the measurements and all that. And then we also discussed last week about doing some kind of a temporary mitigation. Oh, I forgot to bring, but you can walk around the condominium. There are pieces of plastic that fell, and they are dry. You just go like this, they break. I sent the photos of what's going on the roof today. Right now, it's completely exposed. Like if right now there's a storm, we're gonna have a lot of damage. So we need this fast. These people that came today, I need to understand what is the square footage of what is the linear square footage. He told me, according to Google Earth, it's 20,000 for the 2 buildings. Does it sound that makes sense to you, Alfredo?
No.
No.
And I think that if we actually bring a contractor, they actually need to provide their own measure, because we whatever information we give them, they need to actually make sure that.
Okay, but they quoting per square feet. So whatever is the square feet,
Exactly.
Times the square feet. So this is why,
And they do it by square feet only, because they just.
this is what I'm trying to determine, because it has to be linear.
Yes.
It has to be linear, because these are walls that are, I think, I don't know if 1 or 2 feet wide by whatever, 100 or whatever it is. And to be able to cover it fast. So tomorrow I should probably get maybe one more to let us know, and we need to decide, because this is emergency. This is needs to be done, and the people that came today say we're ready to start tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow I'll have something in writing from maybe one or two, and we need to act. Okay, because one water mitigation is costing us $4,000, $5,000. So that's that.
And on the contact with the roofer, do we have any news about the contacts with RT?
Robert, you want to fill us in on the contact with RT, with the selected roofer?
Only update I have is, they should be getting today. I've been in meetings, I need to check my email. But they were gonna speak today, and I forwarded the initial, the latest bid to lawyer for legal review. And, he asked a question, and, I think what we need to do is get that in the form of a contract back to them. So that's where it's at right now. But a meeting is being planned with RT to go over some of the discussion points. That's the update.
Robert, quick question. When are you back in Miami?
This weekend.
Okay, no, just because I have a couple of checks for you to sign. Okay, but weekend is good, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Any other updates on the roof? Nothing. Okay. So basically, for the record, we selected the roofer. We are now entering into the due diligence of the agreement, and hopefully by next week we can sign and let them start as soon as possible. Okay.
Well, I have a lot of things to say here regarding of the contract, because what I only see on the new document that the RT sent, it was exactly the same, but the only thing that I see that it changed was the shingle, but the numbers and everything got all exactly the same. So I just like raise a question, and also if we're gonna start working on the contract, we would like to know the conditions of RT. I haven't seen the conditions that they are the legal conditions for the contract for us to address, and how we're going to actually craft our contract based on our particular provision for us to be legally.
I suggest let's leave it for the lawyer. It's going to review. It's going to review the first one that is sent, and then it's going to add everything that is important to us, and we're going to add it to the contract.
And in terms of the payment, also, for me, that was something that we need to discuss, because this is not like 10, 40.
Okay, so my recommendation is let's put all your recommendations or all your concerns in bullet points, so we can also send it to the lawyer, and according, and let's collaborate on that. Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
It's just point number 6, unit 1 and 2.
And Alan, sorry, but I need to go, but I'll be back this weekend, and I'll be checking email later tonight and more tomorrow. I'll be a little bit more available tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm not there. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving to the next one.
So unit 1.
Okay,
I think that I need to give you an update on the recertification on the MB5, okay? Everything that is going to relate to MB5. I spoke with the company MB5 today regarding of the billing for all the projects, because as you can see, everything was built into one project, so we didn't actually understood how much we were charged for each project. So as a courtesy, because as we started with only the recertification project and some of the roof issue. And after that, we started to add reports, as, situation we were facing. So it becomes, a little bit convoluted for them to this, put everything, separate and do sub project. So what they did is they, as a courtesy, they completely break down all the numbers of hours per professional, and they give me like a rough estimate, which I personally think that it's a little bit too much. And I think we need to, take something like this for the
So this is NB5 basically.
NB5, all the reports that we have been contracted with them. So for the recertification, for the months. No, I just have it. Just now, before I left. They sent this information, and I definitely want to share it with you.
Do you want to share it with us by email so we have time to take a look at it, digest?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Not to say okay, perfect. Okay, well, so.
And then maybe we can already this week try to go back and forth with them, and hopefully, and then by next week, maybe.
Well, the most important thing is the 50-year recertification. I think that we need to start working on the issues that we have. For a structural recertification, we have to verify 2 items, which is what you guys see on the report, the thermal cracks. All the cracks around the buildings needs to be repaired ASAP, because we have, and this is the information that we didn't know, that we have from January 2nd to May 31st, 150 days to submit the final report with all the remedies. So the inspection will be called out at May 31st. So they already aware that the electrical part, even though it's already passed, so we don't have any problem with electrical because everything was updated, they know that building 2, building 3 are not going to be inspected because of the ongoing situation with the construction. So what they're gonna do is they're going to, if we allow them to produce a letter to the city asking for an extension or for a communication that grant us time for them to completely, hold into that inspection. But for the part of the structure, we need to work ASAP. So that situation.
The structural, we need to do it until the
31st, yes, which is, next week. Next week, yes.
Do we have?
Well, I think that we have the company that actually prepared the repair the balconies on Gregory's unit. I think that he can help us out to do all the scope of work, and it's only a matter of calling them after we do all the repairs, and then all the NB5 to do the second evaluation.
And the part that was on the owner's side, because there was also owners.
Yeah, there is two cases here. I think that Alan knows exactly what I'm referring, the cover, which he's already have a permit on it, so that's not a problem. We can actually, get the permit, and the verification of the shed on building 3 at the TDS corner. Even though that he has the 40-year certification, the shed was there, built out. So maybe we can find some information that we can, produce.
On the shed for.
On the shed of TDS, yes.
Okay.
And the aluminum covered patio on building 4. So NB5 recommendation was to seek legal advice because they can provide the report, but it's up to the city and the association to find the proper remedy. Because my concern with this report was, okay, so whatever the engineer is asking us to fix and to repair, we can actually do it. So the thermal crack have no problem because we don't have and we don't require any permit from the city in order to do major remedies on the structure. So everything structural wise is good, is working. We need to only just do minor repairs. So we don't require any permit except for those that are highlighted on those report, those pictures, which are the the one enclosure and the canopy and the shed.
So for those ones, I would recommend that we list them. We have a meeting with, and understand what are the next steps, because at the end of the day, we need to communicate with the homeowners and ask for the homeowners to provide the remedy. We cannot provide the remedy.
That's exactly what MD5 says, and that's what we're gonna take action, because I said, I can do this report, I can do this fixing right away. It probably won't take more than a week because it's just a small crack here and there, and we can provide the report. The thing is that the way that the city now is basically forcing MD5, the engineers, to do is in a different kind of format. When we submit the first submission, they follow exactly the template from 2018, and they are using format 2023, which is not even distributed on the website. So they went to the website, they picked the information available, and it happened that it was the 2018 format. So the city now is required that they need to provide full format of 2023 with sign and seal each page of the report by all the engineers. So they only, usually they actually stamp the cover page and the first, few letters, and that's it. So when the city noticed that, they say, we need, as per new regulations, all the sign and seals document, all the pages, and using the standard format. So for that, it means that we need to actually do a resubmittal with this procedure. So it's going to be charges happening into this second report.
I would say that we need to have a conversation with MD5.
That's exactly what I said, Jason. We need to have a conversation because a report can actually cost us $30,000. I mean, this is, like ridiculous. So, and this is the rules assessment report. They will actually revise and submit it on Friday, May 24, this Friday. Drywall damage report, there is a thing here. Since I raised to their concern that we need to actually have a ratio for us to plug a number and have the control when we meet the contractor, whoever potential bidder is going to bid on this project, they told us that for them to provide this information will be irrelevant, because they say that most likely,
Which project are you talking
drywall repair. They say that the best way to go is finding 3 contractors and get the estimate. Because if we actually go by the standards of construction estimate and do a number like the one that I provide, it's going to be to a standard, and that definitely will vary based on the, like overheads and all the things that each contractor might have. So he recommended, in order for us to provide you on what they say rough order of magnitude, which is like a rough tabulation of how much per unit, per damage you will estimate for the drywall calculation, he say it's much easier to have 3 contractors come into the property, assess the 10 units, and then give you a rough estimate on the whole repair, because it's going to be easier and cheaper. Say, okay, I wanted to have a control number for us to understand that we are in the plateau line where we don't pay more, we don't pay less, we pay what the industry refers to.
Okay, when can we determine, how much it's going to be?
Well, it depends on us. So if we want a rough,
I think there are 2 things here. One is we need to have those 3 contractors coming given the budget. But we can only start the intervention on the drywall whenever we have the roof secured. So we can have the pricing, but if we have the pricing now, and then the work only can start like 2 months from now, at the end of the day, the price might change. So I would hold on a little bit with the budget until we know more certain when the roofs will be completely secured, so we want the drywall as well.
no, I mean the estimation, because this is what we were missing on the report. When we actually receive the report, we see the pictures, the graphics, and we see we saw the dimension. But we never saw a factor that we can, plug and get a number for us to have, like an estimate. So their recommendation was get out contractors, get 3 estimates, and then figure, like the media of, how much, would you like to, to pay. It wasn't the best answer for me, but.
I mean, at the end of the day, we need to know basically how many square footage, and then get from different GCs, what would be the estimate.
We have the square footage. What we don't have is the value that give us an orientation of how much can we pay for that. So he told me, and he was, in a certain way, he was right to say, all these are variables and change based on the region, based on the demography, based on the characteristics of the project. I think that for this project, which is in a common ground, we have 2-story, doesn't have too much of an effort to carry, the drywall. It's not going to cost too much, but each contractor have their own factors of overheads and.
The question: did they already introduce the numbers for Unit 25?
For
Unit 25 for rentals. The numbers were still pending. These numbers will be critical to.
On the report, they say that they require some information, but I can get back to you on that because the ladies told me that she will get back to me to follow on this item of the calculation and also for the pending items, and that probably might include Unit 25.
Okay, because whatever is going to happen on the other units, we need to compensate the unit.
And this is exactly what transpired on the conversation, because how can we going to get the estimate of Unit 25 when we don't have, based on the pictures, we have just a rough, estimate of how much damage was done to the property. Because when we arrived, everything was completely replaced, so we don't have any clue.
And we can have a heuristic of putting the average of the whole. Just wanted to see through the pictures if it was more or less effective. So I think it was much less effective than one's house or others. It was a little bit more effective than others. So
that's why I was actually pushing for to get a factor, because we can probably, like be more accurate on that and more.
Okay. Are we ready to move to the next item?
So that's one.
Which is the Unit 1.
Okay. Just bring it down here. Okay. So Unit 1. Sorry, there's a little bit of echo here, but okay. So Unit 1, I know that I think Mark and Anna are on the line as well. So basically, Unit 1 is doing an enclosure, which overall it's fine according to the new rule that now allows enclosures. But the problem that we are seeing here, first of all, we don't have enough documents. And I don't think that the previous board got any documents to actually see what is being done. And the main problem is that it's fine to do enclosure, but in this case, they are demolishing walls of the building. And that is something that, according to our bylaws and also article of incorporation, is just impossible to do. You cannot open new windows, new doors, make holes, remove walls. And on top of it, it looks like Unit 1 is creating a whole extension of the roof and a whole extension of the mansards. Did you see that? And we are in the middle of doing the roofs. So we don't know how this is going to be attached to the roof. We cannot even inform the new roofer about this. This is going to create potential change orders in the future. Who's going to be paying for all that? And that is completely illegal according to our bylaws. One thing is to close your balcony. The other thing is to opening walls and extending the roof of the building. You know, we are happy to hear anything that the unit owner has to say about this. You're more than welcome to join. Okay, I guess. So right now we are basically evaluating the legal options.
Hi, Alan, it's Anna. Sorry about
Hey.
that. It took me a second to get the button. How
Okay,
are
hey,
you?
Anna. Good, how you doing?
Good, thank you. I was the one, Mark, as you know, was the president at the time, so he was, you know, he wasn't able to vote. We did give the board documents of exactly what our enclosure was gonna look like, and that was approved. And we are actually, that should be something that you guys should have, and the old management company should also have.
Well,
I do want
right
to say
now,
that
the only thing we have
for the record.
is, yeah, so the only thing that we have is this drawing. I don't know if you can see from my. Is this drawing basically? No? Sorry. Okay. You know what I'm referring to? Anna?
Alan, it's very hard to see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just that, let me see. I can share it real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sharing it right now. So this is the only thing that we basically have about the enclosure. Is that what was presented to the board?
Yes, that was presented as well as some handouts that were given to the actual board physically. So
Was
they
that
could actually
print-
see the finished product.
Was that printed?
That was
And
printed
given-
and given out to the individual board members so they could see exactly what the
Okay.
project is gonna look like.
Now,
Remember, we're our unit is at the end, so we have a different layout than some of the other. Excuse me,
no,
some
I
of the.
mean, I understand, but whatever the layout is originally, that's a layout, and it looks like you are adding a whole roof with the
No.
mansard.
No, Alan, we are not.
So we are not,
After the mess that's going on with all the units that have tied into the mansards, that's something that we will, that we are avoiding like the plague. I can guarantee you that.
okay, so let me make a drawing here and explain to me. Write this here. This looks to me like an addition. It says new addition there. Anna?
Hold on a second, Alan. Let me look at it really. Alan, some of the stuff you circled to me looks like is something that is already existing.
I mean,
That's why I'm having a little bit of a problem looking at it, because to me, it looks like it's something that is existing. I can tell you, we are definitely not touching those mansards with a 10-foot pole.
okay. So you're not.
And that is because look how many issues you guys are having with with people that are tied in and done illegal structures. And
Yeah, so
tied
we
in
want
with
to
the
try to
mansard.
avoid
That's
that.
something we are gonna avoid. I mean, we're trying to just enhance our unit to make it look, modernize it, because we've been there for a long time, not create more problems for Leeward Point or ourselves either. That's the bottom line.
Okay, but but also the bottom line is that we don't have any drawings that's showing material or showing how?
Well, that's a drawing, Alan. What you're showing us right now is exactly what was submitted to the previous board, which you guys send us a letter from the attorney without discussing this with us, number one. And so we've been dealing with Alexander Hernandez directly. So now you bought this, you put it on the agenda, and now we're discussing it, which we would have been more than happy to do with you prior to the legal involvement that you did. This
Well, okay,
is what
on that
was
point,
approved by the board. Can I
And-
finish to stop?
but let me just intersect on that point. I came personally with João
Mhm.
and we asked to see the drawings because we are in the midst of doing roofs. It's not that we're trying to get anybody here. This is our responsibility. And the
Alan?
answer was, you guys have them, go find them.
Alan, the
Secondly,
question that was asked.
Robert
if we
also
wanted a
requested by
short term-
email.
Yes, and we said to Robert to look to the files for Leeward Point, which all the files are under the Leeward Point, which you've been able to find. So back to the drawing and all this stuff. What was your last question? I lost my train of thought here a second.
No, so
You had
basically what
another
we're
question.
asking, if you would like to cooperate, what we're asking is to see, because this is just showing, it's a drawing that shows from the outside how it's gonna look.
Yes,
We need to understand how it's going to be connected to the roof. And also, you are doing new openings and you remove the wall, which is against our bylaws.
Alan, we have a structural engineer, regular engineer, an architect. Everything's
believe
been
you,
to
I'm
the,
sure.
everything's been sent to the city because we knew even with the approval that we received from the previous board, that this new board was gonna give us a hassle, which is where we're at right now. So with that being said, let me go back on this. We have everything in writing. This was approved by the previous board. I hear what you're saying, but everything was approved by the previous board.
Okay. All right. So you don't have any drawings to show and help the community to finish the roofs.
Alan, once again, we are not touching the roofs. I can tell you, we are not touching the roofs.
But you are creating a new little roof in your enclosure.
We are
and
not
that-
creating any little roofs. We are definitely not creating any little roofs. I can give you my word of honor
Okay, so
that is
Okay.
not happening, and I will be more than happy to show you when it's completed that was not touched. I am so sure of it.
but Anna, listen to my question. On
Mhm,
the second floor,
mhm.
once it's done, when you go to what's now the current balcony, all that area is
Alan, I'm
going to
gonna
be,
stop you right there. We decided because of the cost that, and we told this to your attorney. Okay, so I guess she's not communicating with you, or you guys are just sending us letters for sending us letters. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we told Alexander Hernandez in writing via email that we decided because it was going to be too expensive not to enclose the top balcony. So you're asking me something that is not even going to be done, because once we had our structural engineer, and our architect come out 3 to 4 times to review the project, and they started telling us this is going to be an excess of X amount of dollars, we decided it's not worth it. So we
Okay,
are
so
not
what you're telling
doing
me-
anything upstairs at all. Upstairs is staying exactly. That is a moot point at this point.
so basically you're changing the project from the drawing that we have, it's not the final project that
Just
you're
the
doing.
top, but everything else is staying exactly. The bottom is staying exactly like we got approved by the previous board. Like
Okay,
we
but
have
you're changing the
explained to you,
project in the middle without approval.
Alan, based on site conditions, we have the option to change the project in the middle. Okay, and we got the prior approval. And we've been dealing, like I said, with this attorney that you send us a letter instead of talking to us. Yes, we were kind enough that when we got the early start, that we went ahead and we sent the management company Primex copies of our early start permits so you guys would have it. I do not know one homeowner, okay, that have done that even get permits to work on their house. You personally have sitting where you're at people that have illegal stuff that is in the city, and I like to see what their projects look like.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that. Can you repeat that?
I said, you have homeowners that have done more than enough work that do not have one permit in any of their units. You have people that are sitting within your area that might be listening, that have projects going on that I can guarantee you haven't seen one drawing of either. So I understand what you're asking. We went to the board, we got the approvals. We are spending a lot of money on engineer costs because guess what, Alan? We've been there 32 years. We want this unit to last. We have a real investment in this community. So therefore, we're going to do everything we can to get it done correctly. We're not going to do a Mickey Mouse piece of junk that is going to fall down in a week or two. That's not the type of individuals we are. We'd rather spend the money with the engineer to come back over and over and over again, even though it can be a hassle and it can be costly, to come and look at the project to make sure that it's perfect.
Okay. I'm sure that you're not going to do any Mickey Mouse work, and nobody here is
Alan,
said
and
anything
another
about
thing
that.
is, Alan, and another thing is, everything that we're doing is meeting and exceeding the current codes. That's why it is taking time, because we want to make sure that the codes are up to date. And every time that anything happens and we have a question, we have our engineer come back to the structure engineer, let me throw in there, to reevaluate the situation.
Okay.
And not only for the city, but for us and for your peace of mind, because I need to have peace of mind. I plan to die in that place.
No
So
problem.
therefore, I need to make sure that it's done correctly. You're following I think you understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to do something that's going to be a problem for you or be a problem for us. That's why, we're doing it the way we are. And I can tell you, our structure engineer, our engineers have gone there several times to reevaluate the problem.
But still, with all that you said, and I'm sure you're going to do a beautiful job, and it's going to be per code by the city. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt. I never doubted that. Nobody here ever doubted that.
It was approved. You have the drawings, which, by the way, the attorney told me you did not have, because she said we asked her to look for that particular drawing, and she said, "Oh, that the board told me we do not have it, and therefore you do have it." You know what? That's kind of interesting to me, Alan. And the fact that yes, you went and Mark was there, and Mark said you have the permits. Yes, you guys have the permits. We sent them to Orlando. Orlando and Tiffany verified that you guys got it. It was all right there. I mean, for you to come and set up, and when Robert asked for the information, yes, at that time we didn't have the time to look for it, but instead of coming back to us and talking to us, you want to send us to an attorney. So at this point, I mean, we've been dealing with Alexandra. I think her name is Alexis Hernandez. She's been getting, I know, I called her Alexandra by mistake. Alexis Hernandez. She's been getting the information. I'm so happy to see that you have the drawing, because that's something that we're getting ready to send to her, which we'll be sending to her as well. And that's how the project was approved.
Okay.
I don't know what, I really, at this point, I don't know what else to tell you, other than I feel that, you know what, you guys are just take, there's other units there currently that I can tell you 100%. Tons of stuff is being done or has been done, including piping and other stuff, not one permit. So that means, if that God forbid, something happens to their next door neighbor, Alan, and you have a leak on the wall, that's going to come back to bite you as well. And how many units don't have that going on right now? And I'm doing everything.
Anna, by the way, you're speaking to somebody, by the way, that has been through legalizing an enclosure and a variance.
Alan, I'm very familiar. I'm aware of that, and I really sympathize with you, because that's something that, in my opinion, should have never happened. But guess what? It was not something that was done by us. So whoever did that, And I know we don't, people get blamed, this side
Okay.
always gets blamed, but
Okay,
it's very good to throw stones at people without really knowing what's going on, so.
okay. All right, you made your point. And we would like to definitely cooperate and we would like your cooperation. Now you said that you changing the scope of work. At least as a courtesy, I think you should supply the new drawings of what's gonna be the new work. If you mentioned that you want to cooperate,
Alan,
yes.
we will be more than happy to cooperate with the board. But like I
Okay.
mentioned to you, not even 5 minutes ago in our awesome conversation, I know we spoke a lot about different things. We have a structural engineer come out because every time we see something that is not 100%, there's a lot of field conditions that we're finding, which is something, if I heard, what's his face say something earlier, based on field conditions, the drawings are changing a little bit. So as soon as we have everything all thrown together, the final, I will be more than happy to share those with the board or to share them with you personally. But at this particular point, we need to wait based on the field conditions to get like they say, all the ducks in the row. Because again, there's a lot, this building is very old.
Okay, but for the
But you're
record,
finding
Anna,
stuff
but
that
for the record,
wasn't there.
giving us drawing after it's done, that's not helpful. So give us the drawing before it's done.
Adam,
Okay.
I'd like you to give me one example of one unit that has given drawings of anything
It
that's.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't need to give you an example because two wrongs doesn't make it right.
Of course not. Exactly. 2 wrongs
All
doesn't
right.
make it right.
So continue
I
being
can
up
tell
and
you
up.
As we have the fields condition and everything taken care of, we'll be more than happy to share the drawings with you and the board.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for that.
And Alan, all the permits have been approved by the city.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We're done with the
Good.
unit 1.
You're welcome. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you. You too. All right. 6, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
6:10.
It's no, it's 6:57.